June was a really interesting month for me. I've watched films that will be on my list of favourites for years to come, and some that I won't be revisiting anytime soon. There was also a really good amount of 2022 releases in here, and if this month is anything to go by, it's been a really great and fun year for movies. But without further ado, let's start with possibly the most exciting film of the year so far.
Someone's not coming back from this.
Those are yours.
So this was the most fun I've had in a theatre this year. The amount of action kept you on the edge of your seat the entire time, the score just complemented everything so well, the casting felt like perfection, you literally can't ask for anyone better than Miles Teller, and the cinematography was gorgeous. For a sequel 36 years later, it's incredible, and as a standalone film, which it easily could be, it's even better. I mean, half of that is the returning cast, but just the fact that the action was real. I know Cruise is known for doing his own stunts, and whilst he wasn't able to in this, it still just blew me away that he was actually in the plane. Story and character wise, it's ridiculously easy to follow, which I love. We have an anonymous baddie, some amazing characters, I loved Bob, and even though I wasn't expecting it, we had a really happy ending. It was also incredible to see Val back in this, and whilst it would have been nice to have seen him in a bit more than a couple of scenes, I fully understand why he couldn't. Overall, it's easily one of the best films of the year. I truly can't think of something I had more fun in, and that I could just sit back, relax, and enjoy. Now, So I Married an Axe Murderer is quintessential Myers. It has everything you'd expect from a 90s comedy, and above all, is just an incredibly fun watch. It's kind of predictable, but the characters are fun, and even now there are some pretty consistent laughs. And I only say now because it's definitely relied on pop culture a lot, but after a quick Google, that's no problem. So whenever I see the Janus Films logo, I just know that I'm in for a treat, and Tampopo was no different. To start, this has to be one of the best introductions to a film I've ever seen, and at least to me, it felt like it set it up perfectly. The juxtaposition of seriousness to humour works incredibly well, and that's without even touching on the food aspect. As for the main story, it's just a joy to watch. The characters brighten up the scene, the food makes you hungry, the way in which it flows in and out is something of mastery, and it concludes in a wonderful way. This is without a doubt one of my new favourite films of all time, and I can't wait to rewatch it. This is one of those films that I've been meaning to watch for months, and also one that I thought wasn't released, but it turned out it was, and it was an incredible experience. The story is important, the characters are incredible, the acting is amazing. There's really not much to dislike. It's a really solid drama, and it's free on Prime in the UK. So, The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent is easily one of the best comedy/action films of the year. I can't believe it's taken this long for Cage to play himself though. I mean, I'm glad we finally got it, but did we really have to wait until now? Pascal was also the perfect addition to the film, and I could have easily listened to them talk about movies for hours. I don't really know what else there is to say. It's not a surprise that it's a fun watch, but it also seems pretty rewatchable, to an extent. I've been putting off watching The Hunt for a while, as I knew it was going to be an incredibly uncomfortable watch, which it is. Now obviously we have to begin with Mads, as he is always the star of the show, and this is absolutely no exception. I mean, he is the protagonist. But he just gives such a devastating yet intense performance, and it genuinely hurts to watch him go through all of it. You also have to mention Thomas Bo Larsen though, as his performance is equally as devastating. In fact, every performance is. As the story goes on, it just gets more and more brutal, and I won't say any spoilers, but there's one moment that hits really hard. I think the next time I watch this, I will be doing a double feature with another round, just so that I end on a high note. Overall, it's a really incredible watch, and an important one too. I don't really know what it is about this era of Hong Kong cinema, and especially that from Wong Kar-wai, that really grabs my attention, but I can't seem to get enough of it. The cinematography feels so incredibly raw, the characters feel almost real, and the stories are relatively easy to follow. Fallen Angel specifically though is one that I've been meaning to check out for a while, and I'm so glad it held up to my expectations. I can't wait to get my hands on the Criterion edition. Love the choice of Only You for the credits as well, it actually made me watch them until the very end. So even though I knew exactly what this film was going to be about, I've been really excited for it. I mean, how can you not be? Bryan Cranston, Annette Bening and Rainn Wilson. It's the perfect mix for a light-hearted comedy, and that's precisely what this is. The story is interesting enough to keep you engaged, the characters are fun to watch, and it has a very satisfying ending. There's really nothing to dislike about it. When it comes to Double Lover, I kind of just clicked on the first interesting looking movie that Mubi had to offer, so it was about 2 rows down. But it was really incredible. It makes you think, the characters are absorbing to watch, the story has twists and turns that you would never expect, and it's still rather easy to follow. If you can spare the time, I'd 100% recommend checking it out. Finally, we have the movie that took the spot of Top Gun for the most fun I've had watching a film this year. I can't remember laughing so much in so little time when watching something. The characters are at their best, the base level humour is solid, the story is ridiculous but easily something you could see them doing, and it's probably the film that most people watching this will find some sort of enjoyment in. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. Notice if you did, if you have a recommendation for an analysis, leave it down below. Thanks so much for watching, and maybe I'll see you next time. Bye!